This speedy creature is the second fastest land animal on Earth after the cheetah. It's often confused with an antelope, has enormous horns, or are they antlers? And its ancestors went head-to-head with some of the greatest hunters of the Pleistocene. This is the pronghorn.
Hi, I'm Danielle Dufault, and you're watching Animalogic. Today, we're in beautiful Grasslands National Park in Saskatchewan, home to wide-open plains, a sea of grasses, and an incredible creature that we'd be lucky to see. That is, if we can catch up with it.
We are just getting into Grasslands, and we've already encountered our first two pronghorns. There's one way out in the field over here, and another right by the side of the road. Ah, we're so lucky. Oh, he's going. Oh my God. I love the way they run. It's just not what you would expect from a deer. It's definitely a pronghorn thing. Despite its scientific name, Antilocapra americana, translating to the American antelope goat, pronghorns are not a part of the antelope or goat family. In fact, their closest living relatives are the giraffe and the okapi. We've got a mature male pronghorn right here by the side of the road. And for whatever reason, he's been very patient with us. We're being quiet enough to try and make him comfortable. And he is slowly inching closer and closer to our car. But he's giving us some incredible views right now. He's close enough that I can see that his big, beautiful horns are actually kind of twisted. Horns don't always grow perfect, what can I say? He's also got just a beautiful black patch on his nose and around his eyes. This is one of the defining features of males. Thanks for the time, Twisty. They go by many names: pronghorn, antelope, prongbuck, and American antelope. But if we really want to understand these high-speed honeys, we have to start at the very beginning. I really love pronghorns. I think they're such interesting animals and almost look out of place here in North America. But there's a reason for that. You know, they're a remnant of a past ecosystem and evolved to deal with things that are no longer present, such as cheetahs.
Pronghorns are the sole surviving species of a once flourishing North American ungulate family called the Antilocapridae, whose fossil record dates back to the Miocene epoch over 5 million years ago.
During its history, the Antilocapridae family has included a wide array of diverse species, which has had an equally diverse variety of horns. The pronghorn's incredible agility and super speed evolved during a time when they shared the North American grasslands with some of the continent's greatest predators. There was the long-legged hyena, a large lion, and at least 2 species of cheetah. Pronghorns had to outrun these animals in order to stay alive.
Even though their speedy, prehistoric predators went extinct in North America about 10,000 years ago during the Pleistocene extinction event, the pronghorn's magnificent running ability has not changed a bit.
They can canter effortlessly at 40 kilometers an hour, gallop without straining at 70 kilometers an hour, and can reach top speeds of up to 100 kilometers an hour. This makes them the fastest land animal in North America, and the second fastest in the world. Only the cheetah is faster.
For these guys, speed is not just a way to escape predators. It's a way of life.
Pronghorns aren't just burst runners. They can run for 2 hours at 50 kilometers an hour. Talk about stamina. Pronghorns have really long and skinny legs that are built for big strides. They also have an absolutely extraordinary capacity to consume and process oxygen. One of the secrets to the pronghorn's extreme speed is an enlarged trachea, lungs, and heart. This allows for a more rapid gas exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen. They also run with their mouths open to take in maximum oxygen to fuel their muscles. This allows them to run at a sustained 70 kilometers per hour for over 30 kilometers.
African cheetahs, for comparison's sake, can only hold their top speed for about 1 kilometer. Pronghorns are masters of both the marathon and the sprint. They can reach a whopping 11 kilometers in just 10 minutes, whereas I can do 1 kilometer in 5 minutes. In the right weather, wearing the right shoes. Yep. No current predator can outrun a healthy adult pronghorn. But it seems to me like no one has told the pronghorns this fact, because they have oh so many evolutionary features in order to keep one step ahead of predators anyway. Pronghorns have huge protruding eyes that are way back on their heads, giving them a wide field of vision. How big are their eyes, you ask? Well, pronghorns have the biggest eyes relative to body size among all ungulates in North America, with each eyeball measuring in at about 3.5 centimeters in diameter. They have impeccable vision, with the ability to spot a predator up to 6 kilometers away. Okay, pronghorns, we get it. Your eyes are incredible. Show-offs. Pronghorns have incredibly interesting horns, as they should, because it's where their namesake originates. But the question is, are they horns or are they antlers? Well, it's a cross between them both. True antlers are made of bone and shed each year, while true horns are made of compressed keratin and never shed. But the horns of the pronghorn are made of keratin, but they shed them yearly. In fact, they're the only animal in the world to have forked or pronged horns that shed every year. The male's horns can grow to be up to 30 centimeters, extending straight up, then curving backwards. But the female's horns are much smaller. The top of the horn bifurcates into a prong, and thus the pronghorn name was born. The main distinguishing features that sets male pronghorns apart from the females is the fact that their horns grow inwards in a curve like a big lyre, but they also have black markings on their face that gives them just a little bit of drama. I'm into it. Pronghorns have short, reddish-brown fur that helps them blend in well with the dry landscape that they live in. They also have white patches of fur on their cheeks, chest, belly, rump, and legs. This white fur serves a greater purpose. You guessed it, to help warn their brethren of predators. If a pronghorn spots a predator, the white fur on their backside stands up. This sends a message to other pronghorn, warning them of danger. This white patch also serves as a beacon, so the herd can stick together while fleeing. Their white underbelly deflects heat rising from the ground and keeps the pronghorn nice and cool. They have an outer layer of hairs to help them stay warm in the winter, but they molt that coat in the summer. Scent communication is another way pronghorns warn others of danger. Bucks actually have 9 scent glands, while does have 6. The glands on their rump release an alarm odor whenever the pronghorn sees a predator. Adult pronghorns may not need to fear as many predators today, but their fawns do, making these evolutionary adaptations very important. Wolves, foxes, bobcats, and especially coyotes are known to hunt baby pronghorns, and the pronghorn herds take this threat very seriously. In fact, another evolutionary adaptation is that females have an invariant litter size of 2, based on historically high levels of predation on fawns. Right out in this field right now, there's a group of 3 pronghorns consisting of 1 male and 2 females. One of those females is extremely pregnant. Her belly is hanging low. It won't be long before she's going to be giving birth. This male is being very protective of these females. He's kind of coaxing them along, trying to lead them to safety. He does see us as a threat. He keeps checking back, looking at us, and then giving the females a little boop. Very cool to see a pregnant pronghorn. I'd say she's in good hands. I think he's pooping. Just doing a little squat. Pronghorns mate in summer and fall, and the females give birth to 1 or 2 fawns in early spring. They have a longer gestation period than typical North American ungulates, averaging 8 months. When they are born, fawns are almost odorless to protect them from who? Oh, that's right, coyotes. Fawns can typically walk 30 minutes after birth. At 4 days old, they can outrun humans, and in 1 week, they're able to run faster than a horse. We stopped by the road to watch a mother pronghorn and her calf. This calf is so full of energy. He's zooming around and taking off and coming back. Mother's just patiently waiting. Oh my goodness, this calf is running laps around its mother. What a little show-off. Pronghorn moms are neat freaks and keep their babies dry and clean. Immediately after birth, the mom licks the fawn dry. Then it proceeds to clean its rump. Rump licking happens around an hour after birth. It helps prevent parasitic infections. Once the fawn is fully dry and fetal feces free, it'll be ready to travel with its mom. The only defining feature that makes these little ones stand out is that they do still have the white butt. That helps them communicate with their parents and other members of the herd. Because if they need to send out the alert, they'll raise that white fur. Oh, it's so sweet watching these two interact. Just the most wholesome thing I've ever seen. Pronghorns live in herds that vary in size depending on the season. In the fall and winter, they can be found in herds of up to 1,000 individuals. In the spring and summer, these herds break up into smaller groupings. There is a clear hierarchical structure to the groups, with social status being tied to size and dominance. Male pronghorns will strike with their hooves or use their horns against predators or other pronghorns alike when battling for dominance. Fighting between males can become very heated. In other words, if you mess with the prong, you get the horns. Despite their aggressive behavior, pronghorns are high-key herbivores who love to graze. They're most active at dawn and dusk, where they spend their time munching on a variety of grasses and small plants. They drink water when it's available to them, but they can go for weeks without it, getting their moisture from their food. Pronghorns are ruminants and spend their days and nights eating and resting with the herd. And I say rest in the lightest sense of the word. Pronghorns rarely close their eyes to sleep, as they must remain alert to any potential predators. When they do sleep, it's for less than 10 minutes at a time. This might seem like an overabundance of caution in a land without cheetahs, but with wolves and coyotes still around, pronghorns can't be caught napping. Pronghorns figure heavily into the early history of humans in North America. Forget about where the deer and the antelope play. North America has always been where the pronghorns pronk. They were known to be used as sources of meat and hides for the indigenous populations. Early European travelers to America's west wrote stories of pronghorn herds dotting the plains as far as the eye could see. But the more people that arrived, the more the pronghorn's habitat declined. It's wild to think that these animals were down to 20,000 left back in the early 1900s. Right now, there's over 500,000 of them out here, and they're quite a common sight. Populations began to recover with modern conservation, and by the 1970s, pronghorn numbers were up, and there were over 400,000 in North America. Today, in Grasslands National Park, a process is underway to re-establish the natural prairies and ensure that the number of pronghorn continues to rise. Of the 5 pronghorn subspecies, only the peninsular pronghorn of Baja California is at critical risk, though the Sonoran pronghorn is on the endangered species list. These creatures can be found roaming the Great Plains of North America into northern Mexico. In Canada, they reside here in Saskatchewan and in southeastern Alberta. I absolutely love the pronghorns out here. To me, they are synonymous with the Canadian prairies. Most summers, I'm out in southern Alberta doing dinosaur digs, and driving down the old dirt roads, we're always bound to see a few. There's nothing quite like it. In order to meet their nutritional requirements, they need to travel vast distances. They actually have one of the longest land migrations in the Americas. Herds of pronghorn migrate at least 240 kilometers between Wyoming's Upper Green River Base and Grand Teton National Park. The only animal to travel further in North America is the caribou. Is there anything that pronghorns can't do? In fact, there is. Pronghorns can't jump. They're very poor vertical jumpers and are reluctant to do so. They rarely jump over fences and usually try to crawl under them instead. This is important for a species that roams far and wide through developed areas of the Great Plains, where farmers have put up fences that pronghorns can't crawl under. If pronghorns can't crawl under them, they learn to avoid them. The pronghorn is one animal that really shows how much our past shapes our future.
You know, I thought that moose might have been my favorite Canadian ungulate, but pronghorns are taking that spot. Sorry, guys.
So what should we talk about next? Please let me know in the comments and be sure to subscribe for new episodes every week. Thanks for watching. See ya!